Hey, what's going on? It's Mike, and I'm here with another episode of Smart, Simple, Digital. So I've had the iPhone 10 now for about a month. Now beyond that, the phone has been on the market for around 3 months, I think. And because of that, I was slightly hesitant to make today's video. Mainly because I thought, hey, this phone has been out long enough. There's already a ton of information out there about it, a ton of reviews. Nobody really wants to hear anything else about it. But to my surprise, I still get a lot of questions from people about this phone whenever they see me with it. People want to know what I like about it and what's so different, what's so special about it. So in today's episode, I'm going to share 10 things that I like and some things that I'm a little bit indifferent about on the iPhone 10. So hopefully I can help to answer any questions that are on the minds of people out there who are curious about the iPhone 10, who might be thinking about getting it. So hopefully I answer your questions, and yeah, that's what this episode is going to be all about. Number one, the design. So I happen to think that the iPhone 10 is probably the most well-designed and most beautiful iPhone of all time. So first off, the thing is all glass. So the front of it, you have the edge-to-edge display. So there's no like bezels or any panels around it. And on the back of it, it's all glass as well. Then you have that vertical camera, which just also gives it a different kind of look too. Then there's the stainless steel frame, which just creates these curved edges all the way around. All in all, I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful phone. As a result, I actually ended up getting a clear case just because I don't think it should be hidden away. I want to be able to look at it. So yeah, as far as the design goes, I think that the 10 is just a beautiful phone. Best designed, best looking iPhone of all time. Number two, the size. So prior to having an iPhone 10, I had an iPhone 6 Plus. Now I happen to like the size of the iPhone Plus models across the board. I just think that they are way more comfortable to type on, and just the extra screen space just gives a better experience when you are viewing media like videos. Just great on the Plus. So when the 10 was first announced and it became really clear that it was going to be slightly smaller than the Plus models, I got a little worried. But I will tell you that it actually feels better. The 10, even though it's smaller, it actually feels better to handle than the Plus. Another thing to point out too is that although it's slightly smaller than the Plus, surprisingly, the screen size works out to be about the same size as the Plus. So you don't really lose anything. So if you're an iPhone Plus owner and you're thinking about a 10, but you're skeptical of that smaller size, don't worry, because it's actually just it feels like a better phone overall, and you don't lose any screen space, which is really important. Number three, Face ID. So Face ID, I think, is the most important feature on the iPhone 10, and it's definitely the feature that sets it apart from any other iPhone that we've ever seen before. Now, I have to admit that I was really, really skeptical of Face ID from the very get-go, like back when the iPhone 10 was first announced and there was this big to-do about Face ID. Just the thought of the phone being able to take a scan of your face and then use that as a key to unlock your phone, that just brought to mind so many potential security concerns. But I have to tell you, like, actually having used it for about a month now, I think Face ID is a really convenient feature. It's one of my favorite features on the phone. I'm really impressed with how smart it is and just how good a job it does at facial recognition. One of the first things that you have to do when you set up the iPhone 10 is you have to look into the camera and move your face around all these different types of directions so that it can get a good scan of your face. From that point on, anytime that you look at the phone, if it's locked and you look at it, it will instantly recognize you and unlock. And I should say though, it doesn't unlock in the sense that it instantly opens up to your home screen. What you see is on the front of the iPhone, on the screen, you see this padlock. And so when you look at the phone and facial recognition works, that padlock opens. Now from what I've seen, like just in tests that I've done on my own, it's pretty accurate. And you have to be alert first and foremost in order for it to work. Like you have to actually give the camera your full attention, both eyes open, like looking at it straight on in order for Face ID to work. If you obscure any part of your face, if your eyes aren't open, it's not gonna work. I know sometimes, like if I'm just waking up and I pull the phone off my nightstand, I'm looking at it and I have maybe one eye open, it doesn't work. Like, I have to give the phone, I have to make sure both eyes are open, I'm looking directly at it for it to work. And I guess that's a good thing, actually. Overall, I noticed that it works about maybe 98, 99% of the time. There are those times when, you know, you might be looking directly at it, but you might lift it up too fast and it just kind of throws it off. Aside from that, again, it works pretty good. I haven't put it through all the tests. I know one of the main questions that I get from people all the time, and then I've seen other people ask out there is, well, can't you trick the camera? You know, if you take a picture of yourself, or if somebody has a picture of you and they put it up to your phone, well, won't that unlock your phone? From what I've seen in some of the reviews out there where those tests have been done, that isn't the case. And so I'm not that concerned about it, but I know just in the tests that I've done, you know, when I've looked at it, when I've covered up my face, when I've even had other people to try to look at my phone and unlock it, it won't work for them. It will just work for me. So overall, I like Face ID, and yeah, really convenient. And I think that's probably the future. So I wouldn't doubt that other iPhones from this point on have Face ID and don't have the home button. Number 4, the top notch in the bezel. So if you look at the front of the iPhone 10, there is this kind of weird notch cut into the bezel. Now when I saw that, I didn't really like the feel of it, and I just thought that would really be a distraction to just viewing things on your phone. But as it turns out, it's not really that big of a deal. So what I found is that a lot of apps just have their own way of making that notch sort of fade into the background. If you're looking at a website, for example, the top of the page just sort of blends in with the notch and you just forget that it's there. One minor annoyance that notch has caused, though, is that I found that all the icons don't appear at the top. Well, I should say that the battery icon doesn't display all the information that I'm used to. So I'm used to having the battery icon at the top right corner of the screen in addition to the percentage of battery life. But on the iPhone 10, you can only have the battery icon and you can't actually see the percentage, which is a bit of a minor annoyance, but what you have to do is just swipe down from the top to open up the control panel and you're able to see the battery, the percentage of battery life. So that's the only, I guess, annoyance that top notch just caused. Aside from that, it kind of fades away into the background after a while. You don't really notice it. Number 5, the home button. So there is no home button on the iPhone 10. I will say that in the first few days of using it, that took a bit of time to get used to because there were so many instances where my thumb was just going down to that area where the home button would normally be, and it took a while to just retrain my fingers to get used to life without the home button. Overall, it's not a deal breaker. Like I said, you get used to it not being there, and I don't necessarily it's not something that I guess I want to see come back or that I need to actually come back. So no home button, not a big deal. And that actually takes me to number 6, which is gestures, or the new set of gestures that have been introduced on the iPhone 10, which compensate for the lack of home button. In previous generations of the iPhone, you know, you'd tap on the home button in order to go to your home screen and see your apps, or you double tap on the home button in order to bring up all of your background apps so that you can see all of them. So the way that you do those things now is you just swipe up from the bottom of the screen in order to get to the home screen now, and also you swipe up and you press down on the screen in order to bring up the full list of your background apps. The other thing that's slightly different is that there's a new gesture to bring up the control center. So previously you had to swipe up from the bottom of the screen to see the home button. Now you just swipe down from the top corner of the screen and that will bring up the control panel. I have to say that it took a bit of time to get used to the gestures, but after a while you just kind of learn them and get used to them, and it's actually, I guess, faster. It makes it faster to navigate the phone in some ways, faster than using a home button, I think. So number 7, the headphone jack, or the lack of a headphone jack. And this isn't really new for the iPhone 10. This is something that I think first occurred on the 7. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say the headphone jack was first removed on the iPhone 7. But this is the first time that I'm dealing with, because the headphone jack was on the iPhone 6 Plus that I had previously. It's not a deal breaker though. Old headphones still work. The 10 comes with a set of earbuds that they don't have the regular audio input on them. They have the Thunderbolt input on them. I think this is called a Thunderbolt. I get these mixed up. Lightning bolt, Thunderbolt. Nonetheless, they have the input that actually works with this phone now. But you also get an adapter that fits over that end of the phone and converts the headphones to the standard audio input. Number 8, the display size. So although the display on the iPhone 10 stretches from edge to edge, when you're watching things like videos, the videos don't extend the full length of the screen. That was one of the biggest surprises to me. So what actually happens is when you watch a video, you get a set of black bars that appear on either side of the video just to frame it. So videos don't stretch the full length, but to my surprise, even though that happens, the viewing size still comes out to be the same as the viewing size on the Plus model. So you don't lose anything. So not a deal breaker overall, but just something to be aware of. Number 9, the raise to wake feature. So this is another feature that's not exactly new for the on the iPhone 10. It's just new to me. I want to say that's also a feature that was introduced maybe around the iPhone 7. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the case there as well. And the way that works is every time that you lift up your phone, like as if you're about to use it, the phone powers on. I didn't like that. I just saw that as just possibly an unnecessary strain on the battery. The other reason why I didn't like it is because if I'm lifting it up, and because this phone also has a facial recognition on it, if I looked at it at the same time, my phone's gonna unlock, and I just didn't want to have that. So that's the one feature that I definitely disabled right off the break. Number 10, the battery life. So although this is Apple's flagship phone, the iPhone 10, the battery life is still pretty much what you would expect from a phone. I mean, at the end of the day, I still have to charge it. I can't go multiple days on a single charge. And I wasn't expecting that, but I just wanted to point that out. I guess anybody who might be curious about what the battery life is in the iPhone 10, to me, it's pretty much the standard battery life that you find on any phone, at least any iPhone. You know, if I charge it up overnight, take it off charge and go for maybe 16 hours, 12 to 16 hours, you know, at the end of the day, it's maybe has about 20% left. And that's with doing, you know, under regular, I guess, normal usage. Scrolling through the web, using social media, on the phone, maybe texting, listening to music. Yeah, at the end of the day, with all those things, left with about 20%. So nothing extraordinary in terms of battery life, pretty standard. So that's it. Those are my thoughts about the iPhone 10. And if you are an iPhone 10 user and you have things that you love or hate about it, I'd like to hear from you. So drop those thoughts down in the comments below. If you're someone who just has questions in general, just leave those down in the comments below too. So if you like this video, make sure that you like it, make sure that you share it, and if you haven't done so already, make sure that you become a fan and subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you hit that red subscribe button. If you're watching this on Facebook, make sure that you go to my page, Smart Simple Digital, and hit the like button. Also, you can look down below in the descriptions and see links to other places where you can follow me online as well. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.